Hey everyone, welcome to another match of Temur Rogues. Today we are playing Sultai Mill, or whatever mill. Temur Mill plus green. Whatever it is, it's mill. It's not really magic, let's be honest. Milling your opponent to 0 cards in library, I don't see the fun in that past, a couple of matches. It is what it is though. We have to mulligan our first hand, we have no idea we're playing mill. But either way, this hand is pretty good if you consider that, we're probably going to see Hedron Crab. And Blood Moon can be useful, depending on how greedy our opponent is with their lands. Let's see what we get. Okay, we get nothing on turn 1, which is fantastic. We're going to work on the basis that we want to resolve Magus pretty soon. So we're going to try and fetch here and wait for our opponent to do something. Probably going to go get a forest here to be safe on green. Yep. So Serum Visions comes down. We're probably going to pass on both. Or keep the Traverse to ensure we can get an island. Well, we kept both. Alright. Alright, so our opponent has a Triome. Green is important to them. Alright, and Glimpse the Unthinkable. First I checked to see who they are targeting, because I've seen non-magic decks or dredge decks target themselves with Glimpse, which is just as stupid as anything dredge does. But now we see a surgical extraction. Alright. Magus of the Moon comes down. Our opponent now has a bunch of mountains and an island. Good for them. So Mesmeric Orb is going to suck. Every permanent we untap, we have to mill. But now it's just a race. That's what our opponent is basically telling us. You have to move it or you are dead. Luckily we have 8 damage in spells right now. 2 lightning bolts and a seal of fire. And our opponent just resolved 2 more Mesmeric Orbs. So we are running out of cards in our graveyard. We're about to mill, I don't know, probably milled like 8 cards, 10 cards. Huntmaster of the Fells is actually also good, just to kind of put a clock here. I think it's kind of necessary at this point. We're just going to have to hope that our opponent doesn't have a huge mill card right now. They don't, at least not to our knowledge. Huntmaster is going to flip, and we're going to win this game. Let's do it. Alright, we got milled. It's kind of important to win game 1 against mill, because usually they catch you by surprise, they catch you off guard, you don't have the tools to beat them, and then they win, and then all of a sudden you basically have to win all the other games to win the match. So it's always nice to get the jump on mill, especially mill. So what are we going to bring in here? Obsessive Skinner, not necessary here because we're not necessarily playing an aggro deck. We're not going to have to deal with creatures. We want to bring in more counters, essentially. Veil of Summer also pulls its weight against mill. Any variant of mill, essentially. Hedron Crab, there we go. Normally we want to play Noble Heart turn 1, but no. When the crab is on the battlefield, you target the crab. You see, if we hadn't, now our opponent would have done a bunch of stupid things. Unfortunately, that does stunt us in terms of what we can do turn 2, but it's worth it. The less triggers they get off of that Hedron Crab, the better. Right now they have Field of Ruin, which can't do anything when we have basics on the battlefield. So, joke's on our opponent. Pretty much have no choice here but to do Serum Visions. Those 2 cards are actually pretty good, so I want to keep both. Emphasis on a Braid so that at least we can take out Hedron Crab. That is, of course, if they don't crack Field of Ruin right now. I would feel obligated to go get a basic, which means we would lose a Braid. Let's see if they crack Field of Ruin. They do. Alright, well, We have no choice. We're going to have to go get some islands, or at least an island. Alright, our opponent's about to mill us for a bunch of cards. We have 23 cards left in our library. Let's see if we can put the pressure on. Most likely want to target Hedron Crab with the Lightning Bolt. We draw another Looter il-kor. Get Fairy Miscreant out of there. Huntmaster de Fells is going to save us. Yes, please. Alright, Hedron Crab doing its thing. Our opponent clearly fetching around Blood Moon effects, but that's alright. So Glimpse comes down. We are down to 8 cards in our library. I repeat, 8 cards. Get rid of our other looter. We're going to play land and do nothing so that Huntmaster can flip. That is very, very important. We have 6 cards left in our graveyard. We have to essentially counter anything they play. And we're hoping that it's a 3 count. So, okay, Euro needs to be countered. They're not milling us, but it needs to be countered because we don't want to gain that life. So Mesmeric Orb is... it's going to suck. This is going to be brutal. So we're going to Lightning Bolt them. And they're just going to give up because we're going to have just enough in the graveyard to win. I think they were a bit hasty there. They should have at least seen what we were going to do. But yeah, we got them there. What do you think? I mean, I think I can deal with Mill pretty well with Temur Rogues. Again, even when they get the nut draws, there's only so much they can do. We do have permission. We can deal with their mill spells. We have Veil of Summer. We didn't draw any of our Veil of Summers that turn or that game, but we could have, and they would have blanked a lot of their mill cards. So yeah, I think there's a lot of tools already available in the meta for us to deal with Mill. That doesn't mean that Mill is not annoying, and it does not mean that Mill is not fun to play against. It really, really sucks. It reminds me of Lantern players who just, you know, they wanted the world to burn, essentially. So yeah, that's that. That's Mill. I hope you enjoyed this match. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content in general, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on Twitter. All those things may seem simple to you, but for me, they make a huge difference. A big thank you to my patrons as well. My patron community is slowly growing. If you want to become a patron, look at the description. Look at the link in the description. There's more information there. And yeah, thanks and have a good one.